back now with another video. This time it's going to be on. Let's have a look here. Paraphrasing, okay, with myself, Dr. Bill Mallon. So here we go. Let me paraphrase this. It's essential, where's my old pointer? It's an essential skill in academic writing, as it allows you to express ideas from a source in your own words while maintaining the original meaning. Avoiding plagiarism while paraphrasing involves more than just changing a few words. It requires a thoughtful approach to ensure that you are presenting information in a way that is both original and respectful of the original author's work. Very important. Let me paraphrase this, okay? Students employ two methods to incorporate evidence from their readings into their work: quoting and paraphrasing. Quoting involves accurately reproducing, within quotation marks, the exact words of the original text. On the other hand, paraphrase entails rewriting information in one's own words. Now, there's various little aspects of the differences between that, okay? So, paraphrasing, demonstration of your comprehension of the text you have read. To achieve this, you must provide an accurate account of the text and include references in the appropriate style to indicate the source of the information. Failure to reference constitutes plagiarism. Now, paraphrasing is sometimes synonymous with summarizing, okay? And involves presenting information in a more concise manner, capturing the essence of the original text. As you progress in your studies, a shift towards a more critical approach becomes necessary, requiring additional skills. It's very important, okay? You won't get it right the first time. There's going to be parts in this where you're thinking to yourself, I'm actually just summarizing, so I'm not actually doing a great job here of really getting the point across. I'm not engaging with it. I'm just basically saying, look, here's what they said. And there's various degrees of how you can do that and how well you do that, okay? The value of paraphrasing lies in its ability to showcase your comprehension of the original source, facilitating discussions on links and connections between the cited work and your arguments. It also enables you to convey broad ideas without requiring the reader to refer back to the source, providing context to the topic, okay? Moreover, it aids in comparing and contrasting sources, showcasing a critical approach to reading. But look, I'll just copy and paste it anyway, and this is the... a lot of students unfortunately do this, but the most important thing is a lot of students do this accidentally, okay? So look, unfortunately people confuse paraphrasing with copy and paste, the only difference being that one thinks it's okay do so as long as someone's name appears in the bracket at the end of it. Observe. Well, you can observe in a minute. Wait till I have a drink. Here's the original. Effective time management is crucial for achieving academic success in higher education. You're looking at something like this, you think, okay, I need to pull this into my own work. How do I do it? What's the best way for me to keep the essence of it? Oh, I'll just put this at the end of it, okay? Nothing has changed here. Nothing. But I respect it. I respect the hustle, okay? Because people think this is what you do. People think, well, I'm referencing, haven't I? Yeah, you are actually. Yeah, you're well done. You are actually referencing, but you're missing the engagement. Okay, it's not. You're not paraphrasing. If your thesis is just a series of this, and I have seen people's thesis that was just a series of things like this, then I don't need your thesis. I'll just go and get the original book. The sentence when included in someone's thesis is identical. The only difference now is that the author has been cited, which is good. However, the student has failed to make use of the text and thus shows no engagement. Here's some tips, okay? How to avoid plagiarism. I'm going to move up the top of the page here. Get out of the way. Read and understand the source material thoroughly before attempting to paraphrase. Ensure that you grasp the main ideas and key concepts, okay? So take notes. So when you're reading a book, take those little points, the little notes, and say, well, what are they trying to say? What's the main issue that's at hand? And what, more importantly, what do I need from it? Like, what's the type of arguments I need to pull from it? So once you've understood the material, put the source away and focus on expressing the ideas in your own words. Avoid looking at the original text while paraphrasing to prevent unintentional replication. Mix it up a little, okay? Change the sentence structure. Rearrange the sentence structure. Convert complex sentences into simpler ones or vice versa. This helps to distance your paraphrase from the original text. So that's very important, okay? So when you're combining sentences, you're combining ideas from multiple sentences or paragraphs into a single sentence, okay? This can help you present the information in a new, cohesive way. Paraphrasing, when you get to college, or even if you return to education after a long time, it's very hard to grasp it because you're not used to it entirely. Some people find it very hard to turn 3 or 4 pages into one sentence. But the best way to do it is to have a look at other people's thesis and see how they've condensed the information down. Have a look in the bibliography, have a look at one of the books they're using in the literature review. Look at the size of that book. Let's say the book is 400 pages and they've only mentioned a paragraph about it. So where did they get that paragraph about it from? They probably got it from a summary of the book or a review of the book. Maintain the tone and style. Preserve the tone and style of the original text as much as possible. However, make sure your paraphrase version reflects your own voice and writing style. It's very important to have yourself there as well, that you're not just copy and pasting one from the other. Pay homage, my favorite word. Cite the source. Even though you're putting the information into your own words, you must still give credit to the original author. Include an in-text citation and a reference to your bibliography or works cited page. So your reference list, essentially. Add your own insights. Whenever possible, incorporate your own analysis or insights into the paraphrase context. This demonstrates you're not just copying, but adding value to the information. Be very careful with this, though. Don't reinterpret someone's work. I want to get the gist of what the other person was saying. So if you say, well, here's what I think they were trying to say, that's no use to me. I can't use it. If you encounter a phrase or expression that is unique to the original author and changed it would distort the meaning, then put it in quotation marks. It's very important. I touched upon this in another video. When you have someone's sentence and you're like, I understand half it, but the other half, I don't know how to put that into my own words, then just the rest of that sentence will just be the block quote, the actual quotation marks of it, okay? I had something to say back here. What was it? I can't remember. Let's go. Include the author and the year. So when paraphrasing, include the author's name and the publication year in your in-text citation. This allows readers to trace the information back to the original source. Very important. Be diligent and accurately be diligent about accurately representing the original author's ideas. I can't even talk anymore. Avoid altering the meaning or misrepresenting the information in your paraphrase context. Be transparent. Okay, so that just means that you're not robbing someone's words as your own. That's what I was supposed to say, okay? I remembered now. Some people think it's very intelligent to have a huge thesis with very little reference because it shows that you made it all up yourself, okay? I don't know where this comes from. I really don't. And I don't know how that managed to be that's the best way to do it. I always think if someone's really intelligent, they're quoting from stuff all the time. That's just my evaluation of a person. If they're like, well, look, according to this person, he said this, this, and this. Whereas if someone is just like yap, 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 and they're like, where are they getting this stuff from? Like, is this just being pulled out of their arse? I don't consider that intelligent. And I think some students, when they get to college, they go, or if they're returning to education after a long time, they do this by accident. They just kind of say to themselves, okay, I'm going to show how much I know about this topic by not having references every second line. But have references every second line. It's perfectly okay to go according to or stated by, and then have your little input into it, be a tiny little part of it. That's okay. You're really just checking in and out every time of a thesis to say, hey, I'm here as well as the author, and I'm just trying to link these things together. You're the bridge between the different studies. So that's the best way to think about it. But yeah, always indicate when you're paraphrasing, according to, as stated by, in the words of. Now here's some examples. Everyone loves my examples. Here's the original, okay? Climate change poses a significant threat to global biodiversity, leading to shifts in ecosystems and the endangerment of numerous species. So, look, we're looking at this, okay? We're saying, okay, well, how do I paraphrase this? Well, want to know more? Look, according to Smith, 2019, the alteration in global biodiversity caused by climate change is a substantial concern, resulting in ecosystem changes and putting many species at risk. Can you see what happened there? I basically just took this part, put it at the start, and then used a thesaurus to basically massage the rest of it into my own words. Don't go too much into this. I put this here as an extreme example of using the thesaurus. You can use the words of the original author. They've no ownership over the word poses or leading to shifts or ecosystems, that sort of stuff. So you can say according to Smith, climate change does pose some threats to global biodiversity. And then you can put this bit in inverted commas. That's perfectly fine. That's paraphrasing. Here's an example. The technological advancement of the 21st century has transformed the way people communicate. The manner in which individuals communicate has been revolutionized by the technological programs within the 21st century, according to Smith. Okay, so it's just a little subtle change in it there. It's nothing too drastic. Here's a few more examples here. Okay, not going to read them all, but we're going to leave them on the. I'll leave them there for you to look at. I'm just going to have another drink. So are we seeing the little the way things are done in paraphrasing? We're taking what's in the bracket and we're just moving it outside of it. So in the context of this this person, and then here's what they're saying. The novel explores blah blah blah. Who said that? Garcia. Say so. Garcia's exploration, and then you're putting the blah 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 bit. Okay. More examples on the screen, okay? We getting the message here. It's pretty simple, look. You're basically just taking what's in the thing, sticking it at the start, and then rewording a little bit more. If you want to take an example here, you could kind of say, look, according to Johnson, the rise of social media, and then put that in quotation marks. It's okay, like it's okay. You're basically just, you're stitching. You're doing a bit of stitching, okay? Now, paraphrasing, not just rewording, however, you must show engagement. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Well, this is a term here, yes and. Okay, so it basically means that you take the, here's what they said, yes, but, or and you're basically adding a little bit onto it. So here's the original text. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with this. So universities also place the burden of understanding plagiarism and attribution conventions on students. There are myriad information-laden web-based self-help tutorials and workshops on related sites for the universities in this study. Many are excellent resources and can be helpful. Nevertheless, the lack of additional detailed individual assistance about the techniques of engaging in academic writing conventions, particularly for students studying in off-campus or distance modes, raises issues of equity for plagiarism management policy makers. And there's the reference, okay? Now, I want to basically, I'm doing a thesis and I'm saying, I need this. This is important. This helps my research question. Okay, this helps bolster my literature review. Okay. Look, here's the paraphrase version of it. Okay. And all I'm doing is I'm just switching it around a little bit here. Okay, I'm just basically maybe taking, like artificially, it's just a switcheroo. That's all it is, and changing some words around. But there's also an element of you're taking the, let's say this is the crux of the argument. This is the most important thing this person has said. And you're thinking, do you know what, I need a little bit more seasoning onto that. It's not quite good, needs a bit of sauce, you know. Well then go to the abstract and have a look at the methodology they use, and have a look at the limitations, and have a look at they will mention in their implications how earth-shattering this really is. So throw that on that. You can tack that onto the end. You can say, well, Sutherland Smith also noted that the implications for this are astounding, mentioned blah blah blah, and they could mention other studies there, and then you can use that as a jumping off board then for segueing into another section. So you're coming back then to your link words, your signposting words. You know, she also expands further. She concludes. So these are all link words. You're basically, this is not a staccato paraphrase section. This is a well composed thing that moves from one point to the other. But bear in mind, this has been through multiple drafts. So don't beat yourself up if you're like, well, mine doesn't look as good as that. This comes at the very end. This sort of fine tuning and sprucing up. So don't worry about it too much, okay? As I say, oh, I see now. Okay, so when you see how it's done, you realize, it's just a magic trick, you know, it's all artificial. Okay, so look, there's the outro. Okay, this video on paraphrasing is very important because it is a common mistake people make, because they often think, okay, well, I just need to lift something from a book and put it into my thesis, and that's going to help immensely with showing that I'm very intelligent and that I have to and that's all I have to do is just sort of copy and paste. And people do it accidentally, and that's okay. Okay, once you realize, oh, that's not what you're supposed to do, and a good supervisor will say, hey, look, what you're doing here is not technically correct, but I see why you ended up there. And once you realize it really is an artificial thing, you're just basically changing around the words a bit, whatever author you're putting in, he comes at the start of the sentence you're paraphrasing according to, as stated by, and then eventually you'll come to the realization that, like, oh, actually most of the greatness of a thesis or published work comes at the end through drafting. Then it really does alleviate a lot of pressure off you.